This is 2D part 3, where you are asked to create a note that's going to go on the graph. Now this note is going to say this: if you make late payments, then it will cost you an additional, and then we've got to put in the value of how much it's going to cost extra. This will involve an extra, and we've got to say how many payments. Over a period, we've got to say how many years and how many months. So we've got to calculate this information. In order to do that, we're going to need a couple of items of data first. Before we can find out the additional cost, we will need to know what the total repayments or what the total interest is for the new model, not this old model that we've done. And to calculate the additional years or the additional payments, first of all, we'll need to know how many payments have taken place in this new model for the planned payments. So let's have a look at this area. First of all, we're going to need to do a similar calculation for the total repayments. So this is our summary of payments. I'm just going to label this, because then here we have our total payments, and now we need to put in some data for our planned payments. Let's make those bold. So we know that this is how much it has cost in total for the total payments, total repayments, and we now want to know how much it has cost in total if we did it using planned payments where we didn't get a bonus because we didn't pay on time. So it's going to be the sum, as we've done before, of the total payments made over this whole period of time. Remember, this may have values in it if we use different data. So there we go, we now have that value. Next, we need to know the difference in interest. Okay, so if we have a look at this and we do a sum, again, of the total interest, or we could just do equals and choose this cell here, because it will give us the same value. We also need to know how many payments have been made. Now we could do a count if, like we did a count if just here, but if it's planned payments and we're not making our payments on time, then it is purely going to be the term, which is 4 years, and there are 6 payments per year. So it will be as simple as that. So that gives us some data that we can start with, and now we can start to look at what the differences might be. So what we've just calculated are the total planned payments. So that's the total there of the planned payments. The total of the interest, which is this here. And the number of payments, where it calculates the total number of payments made. What we now need to do is look at the differences, the extra costs that are going to be involved. So looking at this area here, if we add in a new cost, additional cost, we'll just zoom in over here, and we're also going to have our additional number of payments, our additional years, and our additional months. So our additional cost is going to be the difference between the interest for the planned payments and the interest for the total payments. Okay, that is how much extra it's going to cost us. Now, it's exactly the same if we were to do it up here for the planned total payments minus the the unplanned total payments, or if it was bonus because we paid on time. And you can see there it comes out exactly the same value. So we'll now have a look at our additional payments. How many extra payments have we got to make? Right, that is going to be quite simple. It's going to be the planned payments minus if we used total payments. Our years and months are going to be using exactly the same functions that we used here. So probably the easiest way to do this is copy it and paste it. There we go. But of course you will need to explain in your annotation for the next part of the task what these functions do. So we've now got the data that we want to put onto the chart.